Hey, welcome back to the Mobility Project. Yesterday, serendipitously, we got you prepped up for a lot of pressing today. Somehow, the workout on the CrossFit.com today is going to be a lot of bench pressing quickly. And one of the things that the hallmarks of good athletes is that they can generate a lot of extra rotation, force, and torque quickly. And we're going to, as we've kind of continue to talk about our discussion about the fact that the shoulder joint is basically like a little hip joint. And the hallmark of a really good hip is an athlete that can generate a lot of torque, this extra rotation force, and create a lot of stability in the hip, which allows me to kind of have movement options. When I see a low torque hip, I tend to see that knee come in. I see all that kind of sequelae stuff where the leg collapses. In a strong position, I've got kind of my extra rotators on, glutes on, and I can make the corrections. The same thing is true in the upper body. So one of the things that I absolutely need to be able to do is in one of our cues in bench pressing is that we spread the bar apart. We try to break the bar in half. Both cues are about externally rotating and abducting. If you look at the kind of the similarity in the hip, when we cue to spread the floor apart and pretend like your feet are on dinner plates, we're trying to do the same thing. Is to try to create an abduction and extra rotation force, which is the same thing as cueing knees out, butt back, or hamstrings out, knees, butt back. We're looking to create that solid position where I can generate a lot of torque quickly, and that gives me movement options and especially stability upstream. Let me just give you an example of how this concept works. Even on the erg, as silly as this, which is just a pull exercise, but watch what happens how connected my shoulders are. If I'm pulling and the elbow pits, which are basically my knees, are inside, there's a moment where I don't get immediate connection. I'm trying. And that's because in this position, my shoulders are internally rotated a little bit. It's hard for me actually to connect my shoulder blades accurately and rigidly to the torso. So if I can extra rotate a little bit, just imagine flipping up the elbows a little bit. The difference on the catch is significant. And it doesn't have to be like a click on, but when I arrive, I imagine trying to break the bar just a little bit. Hey, it's the same position we're practicing there. And the fact of just trying to add a little extra rotation into that position means that I'm going to catch all that torque much more effectively. So here's this concept. I'm always looking to create torque, to have that option, and we're going to work on some of that. Today we're going to go ahead and change gears down below, and I'm going to show you kind of a three-way hip. So this is what I call the three-way hip. We're going to do one mobilization for the hip capsule. We're doing one mobilization for the musculature and one mobilization for the soft tissue sliding surfaces of the hip. Working on that extra rotation. Okay, so this is it. First one is the classic hip capsule piece, where I'm just going to load up my hip, a little distraction force. I externally rotate it, and really going to push myself. I'm starting 90 degrees, load the butt over, and just let that hip distract out laterally. Try to push out the head of the femur through the capsule. So I load, and my force vector is always going through the femur. So that's the start position. And then I can really kind of explore this out and really hit up high. A lot of athletes are getting better and better in these positions, but we do a lot of our business and work up high. And then even in this position, kind of represents an open hip and a box jump. So I'm just going to oscillate back and forth in there. I shouldn't feel an impingement, pinch. The distraction force from the band should be fine. If I don't have that band, I can still just give myself enough time to let the hips sag to the back of the socket. So that's one. Let's go 2 minutes each side there. Watch out. Second thing, then, is let's go ahead and just do a very simple pigeon pose, right? And as a matter of course, I'm not against Pilates. Pilates is just fun. If you could do Pilates and deadlift and have a huge set of lungs, that'd be pretty awesome. So, I don't make any Pilates jokes except the Pilates poo, but that's different, okay? We'll get that. We'll cover this in the future, but we're going to be in this position. We're going to load butt back, and I just want you to camp out and just find 1 or 2 sections in there. And what you're going to find is let's go ahead and contract, relax, 5 seconds on, 10 seconds off. This is not a Pilates move. This is a yoga move. This is a very ancient Ayurvedic, tradition of being able to sit. So we're doing the same thing. Instead of sitting, we're going to deadlift heavy. So in this position, I'm just going to hit the muscle piece, and then finally, I'm going to pull out my trusty ass ball, and I'm going to sit on it, and I'm just going to go ahead and grind apart. And what you'll find is if you are in some of the business, oh, that's it, you're going to find that tricky spot. Go ahead and contract, relax on it, get tight, and then release. If you're a man, you'll clap right over the top. But now I'm just going to restore the sliding surfaces. So I've got 1 for this deep joint capsule, 2 is for the kind of the musculature of the hip, and 3, I'm just working on the sliding surfaces. So try to spend about 5 minutes each leg. If it has to go into 6 minutes, that's fine. It's not going to matter so much. But understanding that what we're trying to do is get better cueing, better mechanical advantage, so that I have better movement options, being able to generate this torque, whatever position that is, that gives me movement options and makes my trunk a lot more stable. All right? Good luck.